Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host for this evening. Currently the star of Ease the Soup, you can catch him this fall on NBC's new comedy Community and in Steven Soderbergh's The Informant, starring opposite Matt Damon. The whitest host you'll ever see, Joel McHale.
Good evening, fellow nerds. Yes. Welcome to the coolest place in Hollywood, next to Promises Rehab Center in Malibu. First, I want to say dreams come true. Someone is going to pay me to talk about video games. Yes. Of course, we are here to premiere Ubisoft's 2009 lineup of new video games, are we not? Yes. In the immortal words of Tom Cruise, it's exciting, isn't it? Yes. This is especially exciting for me because, as I said, I am a gamer. I love them. I haven't had as much time to play them recently because I've had 2 kids, and I regret that. They are distracting me from my gaming time, and I'm always like, Eddie, Daddy is working. Far Cry 2 is not going to complete itself. Go lock yourself in your room now. By the way, my gamer tag is Seacrest Slayer 311. The 311 stands for the height, and so now you know. I think that Ubisoft games are very special. They're special to me for 2 reasons. First, in Splinter Cell, you can strangle, shoot, and stab a guy, and he won't die. That is an awesome game. The other thing that I love about Ubisoft are the people that work there, and it is special if you work there because everyone at any level of the company is seen as an equal. From the graphic artists to the animators, the programmers, the writers, the composers, to the weirdo who works at the first floor deli, everyone. There's a free flow of ideas. Everyone contributes, and there are no bad ideas. I had the first. I pitched it backstage to the CEO. I pitched a new game called Receding Glacier in real time. And it's very exciting in year 3, but you have to leave your console on for that long. It usually sets your house on fire, though. Everyone at Ubisoft is a star at what they do. That's why I am not allowed to work there. And when you hook up these stars with some of the biggest celebrities in the world, you get nothing short of gaming perfection. Tonight, you will meet one of the most recognizable athletes of all time. Plus, Ubisoft is collaborating with the most successful, innovative, visionary writer-directors in Hollywood. Okay, here's the thing. They want me, for some reason, to keep his identity confidential. I have no idea, so I'm going to, maybe it's to create tension, or he's under house arrest. I don't know. He might have violated his parole. I'm spitballing. But I'm going to give you a couple of hints as to who this mammoth of cinema is. I would be lying if I said he directed Marley and Me. No. Also, it would be misleading to say he was responsible for the visual effects in He's Just Not That Into You. Getting warmer? Yeah. I would be way off if I told you he produced The Wedding Planner. No more hints. All right. If you haven't figured out, I can't help you. Okay. Along with those stars coming up here, we've also got a whole gang of swinging, slashing, slicing, spying, shooting, strangling superheroes, and some armed and dangerous animals, as opposed to the rare armed and harmless animals. Put it all together, and what do we have? Ubisoft is where the stars come out to play.
The next place we're going to go is Italy. So we were in Japan, now we're in Italy. But we're also going to travel in time because we're going to go back in the Renaissance. I can tell a few of you have been reading. So in the Renaissance, you know, when there were no planes and no guns and all that jazz, so we are now going to be announcing, or not announcing because you know, but we're going to unveil something very, very surprising to me. When I saw that, I could not believe the quality of the visuals you're going to see. So obviously, I'm talking about Assassin's Creed 2. And just to put a little reminder, this was the fastest new-selling IP ever when we launched the first one. And we sold, since 2 years ago, we sold over 8 million units. So you're going to be able to see it. Yeah. That's right. I was going a little fast here, but yes, that was definitely worth the applause. 8 million units is a big number, and you know, I hope we'll sell more this time. What I want to say about the game before I let you into the visual is two things. One, you're going to be able to see it at the show. So you're going to be able to have the gameplay visual starting tomorrow. And the other thing is that we've set a date for it. It's going to be on November 17. So get ready. And in the meantime, please take a look at the trailer of Assassin's Creed 2.
Catch him and rip him apart! He's behind me! You have to stop him! To the entrance. Don't let him see you. Wait for my command. Oh, bravo! What an impressive display. A pity we could not let your father live to see it. As for your mother, once I've dealt with you, I promise I'll give her my full attention.
Assassin's Creed 2, everyone. That is it. Thank you for coming tonight. We really appreciate it. We'll see you next year, but play video games now, everyone. Good night. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the President and CEO of Ubisoft, Yves Guillemot.
Hello, everyone. E3 has always been a key moment for Ubisoft, where we showcase how we will step to our next level. I hope you will be convinced with the games we will show you this time, and we are very interested to get your feedback after this presentation and especially after the show. You have heard about media convergence for years now. Convergence has been referred to mostly in the context of medium. Technology lets us consume entertainment, such as movies and games, on new devices and supports that weren't possible a few years ago. But what is more important to me and what Ubisoft has been working on is the convergence of the content itself. The entertainment industry went from the creation of finite worlds, movies, TVs, books, to fully interconnected ones, evolving in real time thanks to our consumers, to all the people that play and exchange now. So how do we address that shift at Ubisoft? Our strategy is to put in place bridges between the creative talents building those worlds to enrich each other's experience. This is what we call confluence. To make this confluence a reality, we started a year ago developing tools that will allow us to create games and movies at the same time. We also acquired Hybrid, one of the leading SFX houses in the entertainment industry. We now have more than 200 creators coming from the movie industry that are working with us to help us to create better games. And finally, we created Uplay that will connect consumers at the center of our worlds. Uplay is a brand new online destination that will extend their worlds and their experience. It will allow our consumers to create interactive and new non-interactive content and share it with friends. So it will offer 4 main services. You will have UShare, you will have UWin, and you will have UHelp, so that when you're stuck in a game, somebody can come and help you to succeed. And you will have UShop, where you can buy extra stuff, or when you can also get points that you also reuse. So I'm happy to say that Uplay will launch at the end of this year, and it will be on Assassin's Creed, on Splinter Cell, and on Avatar. The confluence of creative talents, the creative tools that we've been able to create, and the additions of consumers will help us to actually generate fantastic multimedia experiences. We can create good games. You will tell us, as I said earlier, after the show. But we are still very junior at creating movies. So why not join forces with the best of the best to make our visions come to life? So I am really delighted to tell you that we have already created bridges with Lightstorm and Fox on Avatar. And when I say created bridges, it's really making sure that those teams work together. And you will see that a little bit later. And I am honored to welcome here today a VIP who will tell you more about our present and future success in this field. He's going to go on stage and tell you more about what we have done and what we plan to do. In the same perspective, we are also very proud to announce today that a new creative stream has accepted to join forces with us. We will be working again with Peter Jackson, who we did King Kong with, and we will work also with Steven Spielberg for the first time, as well as Kathleen Kennedy on Paramount's Tintin. Thank you. Another factor that has always been a big part of Ubisoft and how Ubisoft stepped forward in the past has been its ability to explore technological breakthrough first. And the latest revolution in terms of interfaces, you all know, the Wiimote, the DS stylus, the iPod recently, and lots of accessories that came, have opened the world of gaming to new audiences and the world of possibilities to content creators like us. You have seen lots of new projects coming from us there. We were the first to jump on the Wii with Red Steel. Now, with the Wii Motion Plus, Red Steel 2 will go even further, letting you physically experience the fights. We took full advantage of the Wii balance board with Rayman Raving Rabbids and with Shaun White snowboarding. That was the most sold sports game for Christmas last year. We have advanced also the RTS genre with voice command system on N-War, which really gave a new way to play those games. And now with the 2D and 3D cameras, with the inclusion of microphones, you saw a little bit of that this morning, we will be going even further. It will be the next step in making the interface disappear. The consumer will forget about the machine and become the interface itself, making the game a prolongation of his or her body and voice. We believe that this revolution will remove the last barriers to entry into gaming for mainstream audiences. You know, we are always jealous of what's happening in the movie industry. Those guys can exchange their products and they can show their products to everybody. In the game industry, we still have steps to do to be mass market. Ubi is already ahead of the game in this field, working on application prototypes for over a year now. And the potential is really amazing. You will see our first project here today.
Please welcome the producer and creative director of one of my favorite games of all time, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell: Conviction. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Parizeau and Max Bellon. Gentlemen. Good, how are you? Max, it is an honor. Tell us what innovations you're bringing to the Splinter Cell franchise.
In Conviction, we're innovating on multiple ways. But the most important one for me is what we're bringing to the genre and how we're going to redefine our franchise. Traditional stealth games, you know, they kind of force the stealth on the player. They make you weak and they force you to be slow. We want to do the opposite. We want you to use stealth because it's a tool that allows you to better achieve your objectives. In Conviction, you're going to feel like a powerful predator. So we're changing the gameplay. We're making it a little bit more fast-paced, more dynamic, and more fluid. Our goal is to deliver the fantasy of being Sam Fisher, the ultimate elite agent.
That sounds awesome! All right, let's check out the trailer.
Like any man, when he's pushed to his limits, he's capable of anything. When someone strikes at the ones he loves, he will take any steps necessary. He's looking for answers, for the truth.
Dad?
There is no walking away from us, Fisher. We made you, we own you, and we always will!
He will stand by his convictions. for. The Sam Fisher you know is dead. The man who played by the rules, who listened to the voice in his ear, he's gone. So watch your back. I can't stop him. No one can.
This is bigger than your daughter. This is bigger than both of us. The people behind this. You can't hide from them.
Who said anything about hiding? What happens next is up to you.
Holy crap. That is cool. Max, I'm now looking forward to seeing the real game demo. Can you tell me what we need to watch out for while we're seeing it?
Sure. There's 3 things I want you to keep in mind while watching the demo. First of all, Conviction is about Sam Fisher. He's now on a personal mission. He's left the agency he was working for, and now he's on his personal agenda. So he's now free of any constraints. He's more brutal, and he's faster than ever before. And to do this, obviously, we've created new gameplay features. The most important one is the mark and execute. It allows Sam to focus on the position of his enemies. And when he's ready, and when the timing is right, he gets in position and gets rid of the enemy quickly and silently. And today, it's really cool because we're showing off the last known position, which is a new feature that kind of allows you to play a cat and mouse game with the enemies. You can attract them, and then you can flank them. Finally, we've created some really cool ways to tell the story, keeping you immersed in the world and making our narrative move at a fast pace. And Alex is going to show all this while I play.
Can I have it now, the game?
Nope.
Please? Alex, before starting, can you tell us what's behind the storyline behind the demo?
Of course. Sam isn't working for Third Echelon anymore. He's investigating his daughter's death. And the trail has led him to the island of Malta and to an arms dealer named Dmitry Gramkos. Now Max is going to play in the...
All right, I'm going to go backstage and freak out.
Stay back, I'm warning you. Hey, asshole. Remember me. Who killed my daughter? I'm not telling you a goddamn thing. I said who killed my daughter. I can't tell you.
This is the interrogation gameplay. It allows Sam to extract information from certain enemies. Sam can use any part of the environment. It's all interactive and destructible.
This doesn't really tell. Okay, enough. You are Coben. Andre Coben. He drove the car that hit her. He's gonna kill me.
To keep you immersed in the game at all time, we came up with new ways to tell you the story in real time, like the projected movies that you've just seen.
Where do I find him? In the city. The old mansion on King George Street. Guards out front. And on the sides. Don't tell him I told you. I won't tell him anything.
We're also using seamless transitions between environments. At the beginning of the game, Sam is on his own, so he has to go low-tech for some of his gadgets. Here you see him pick up a piece of broken mirror that he'll use to peek under doors. We're also projecting your objectives directly in the environment.
He got punked. Fisher took out his whole crew, then gave him a swirly.
I don't know. You can believe it or not, but he's on his way here. Grantos? Fisher!
To make you feel like the ultimate predator that Max was talking about, Sam moves much faster this time around. He's quick, agile, and lethal. Max is about to use one of Conviction's most important new gameplay feature, the Mark and Execute. It changes the classic stealth gameplay to what we call dynamic stealth and lets you control the pace of the game. We're going to mark a light and an enemy, then get into position and execute. It allows Sam to take down multiple enemies quickly and silently. Each environment is built like a small sandbox, allowing you to choose how to infiltrate and get the best tactical advantage. We could go through the front door, but we're going to choose to go through the side window. The key with Mark and Execute is good preparation and positioning, and it can be done from anywhere in the environment.
Did you see that list of Ned Coben ones? He used them like candy.
Look, man, it's an easy score. You got a buyer lined up? Not yet, but I got a guy who's interested. If you don't have a buyer lined up, we're gonna do a lot of stuff to you. I don't know. Longer we riskier this gets.
You may have noticed that when Sam enters the shadows, the screen turns to an almost black and white. It's the light and shadow filter. We desaturate the whole screen, but we keep the colors up on the enemies and the environment you can use against them. It's also a great feedback to tell you when you're hidden. This is the last known position. When you're seen by the enemies, you have the option of either engaging them in a firefight or vanishing back in the shadows. And when you break the line of sight, we display Sam's outline in the environment, his last known position. The enemy will then focus their search in that area for Sam, and you will be able to attract them or flank them to surprise them. Gadgets are still an important part of Sam's arsenal. The EMP grenade allows you to blast all lights in a certain area. This was just a sneak peek of our redefined Splinter Cell experience with new fast-paced gameplay, a cutting-edge immersion, and Sam Fisher like you've never seen him before. Conviction will be released this fall exclusively on Xbox 360 and PC. Thank you very much.
Earlier, I said that Ubisoft is where the stars come out to play, but this year, with new innovations, players will feel like the stars themselves. You know, drunk, chasing their assistants in an SUV in a parking lot. Ubisoft announces the new Lindsay Lohan game. It's going to be awesome. It's one thing to enjoy playing Red Steel, the action game of legendary sword and gunplay, but quite another to experience the empowering sensation of actually yielding a katana with the deadly skill of a master. And that, my fellow boys and girls, is just what the incredibly realistic feel of playing Red Steel 2 is all about. With Wii Motion Plus attached to your Wiimote, your every action is identically translated to the screen with the exactness that has never been possible before. Don't make the mistake I did and try to hook a real sword into your console. It doesn't work, and it causes thousands of dollars in damage. So let's take a look at the Red Steel trailer. I played Red Steel 2 with Chris Brown recently, and, oh, Joel, sorry. But you guys really need to hear about Red Steel 2 from the expert. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a warm welcome for the creative director of Red Steel 2, Jason Vandenberg. And that guy.
And that guy in there.
All right.
All right. I'm Jason Vandenberg. This is my lead designer, Roman Campos Oriola. We are very excited to be here tonight. We're going to introduce you to the new Red Steel live and in person. We are doing something a little bit different with the game this time. You may have seen some of the stuff on the web. We are going into the desert. We're going to take you into the desert. It's not the real desert. It's the mythical desert where it's really hot and the vultures are swinging around. You may have already seen our new hero as well on the net. He's a gunslinger and a samurai, yeah? He's got a katana in one hand, revolver in the other. It's pretty cool. All right, enough of me. We're gonna show you an exclusive look at the first level of Red Steel 2. Our hero has returned to his hometown and has found that things are not as they were when he left. His day is about to go from bad to really bad. Everything you're about to see here is all live, running on the Wii. bundle. When we first started talking about what we wanted to do with Red Steel 2, we kept coming back to, I kept coming back to fighting with my little brother in the backyard with sticks when we were kids, you know? That feeling that just hitting things with your stick is fun, right? That was a feeling that I wanted to put in the game. And with the Wii Motion Plus, it's now possible. So, first let's take a look at our sword. The sword in Red Steel 2 is mapped one-to-one to the Wii Motion Plus. The position of your sword is directly mapped in-game. You can turn the angle. And to attack, you just swing the Wii Motion Plus as if it was a sword. It's pretty cool. Whew. Now, in addition, we can also measure how hard you are swinging your weapon. We know how hard you're swinging the Wiimote. So the harder you hit slash, the more damage you're going to do. And of course, you can just pull your gun out and fire anytime you want. Cool. All right, enough of that. Let's see some real combat. Roman, real combat. Hey. He just likes to hit things. He likes that. Okay.
You're gonna pay for that.
These guys are jackals. They're the scum of the earth. The world is better off without them. I'm gonna let Roman do his thing. Hey, you. Oh. All right. You can see Roman is focused on moving. He's focused on slashing, on shooting. He's focused on his physical movements. Combat in Red Steel 2 is a physically involving activity. It's sort of like a first-person brawler, you know? It's kind of cool. Ugh. You're gonna have to hit. You have to hit him a little bit harder. Armored opponents, you gotta hit them with the. Yeah, there you go. Now everything you're seeing here, Roman's using the left stick for movement. He's slashing with the Wiimote. You shoot with B, yeah. A to block, and then he's using Z to tap targets, but that's about it. Now, if you're a more advanced player, you want more access to customizable controls, you'll have that as well. All right, let's move on. So we really believe that hitting things is fun. That includes doors and, you know, boxes, your friends, whoever you like. Now, of course, as you move deeper into Red Steel 2, you're going to get new powers. Like that one. Now, that was pretty cool, Roman, but I think you can do better than that. Oh! Yes! That's what I'm talking about. All right, we're almost out of time. But before I go, I'd like to introduce you to a friend of mine.
The Heavy.
Bad parenting, I think.
Who's that?
So this guy is an example of some of the more powerful enemies you're going to fight in Red Steel 2. You'll encounter him first as sort of a mini-boss, but by the end, you'll be taking on more than one at a time, his more powerful friends, etc. Of course, attacking him from the front is a bad idea. You can see Roman is using our dash ability. By just pressing A and moving the left stick, you can quickly change your position to get around behind him where he's vulnerable. All right, so a few last notes. Everything you see here is running at around 60 frames a second. The team is really focused on quick, responsive gameplay, and we've learned a lot in the last few years about how to get a great performance out of the Wii. And you also may notice we've got a slightly different look this time. We're taking realism, and we're blending in kind of a graphic novel approach, and we're pretty proud of the result. So the hammer here is going to be available on the floor demo at E3. If you'd like to test your skills and try out the sword, I really invite you to come and try it out.
Finish him. Yes.
That's all we got time for. I've got one more quick announcement. I'm delighted to be able to tell you that we will, of course, be bundled with the Wii Motion Plus at launch, which is very exciting news.
Jason, Roman, thank you. Scariest beard out here so far tonight. Roman, you got carried away, but thank you, you guys. Wow, that looks terrific. And if you play that at home, it is that loud. So it's the most fun you'll have with a sword this year. Just when you think it's as good as it can be, new technologies push the gaming envelope even more. It's those breakthroughs in software and hardware that allow Ubisoft to be creators as well as innovators. For example, Yves mentions how interfaces could evolve the experience you're having with games. Well, one look at how Ruse rejuvenates real-time strategy by letting you command massive armies with your fingertips really says it all. If you think I'm kidding, why would I be? Wait until you see this. This year, we're taking that same vibe, but going in a completely different direction with Academy of Champions and the international sport of soccer. Why soccer? Well, it is the most popular sport in the world. They call it football. It makes no sense to me. It is played in every country. A more amazing fact, of all the millions and millions and millions of soccer players out there, many of them owe their inspiration to one man. And that man's values of teamwork, sportsmanship, and respect are alive for kids to enjoy when they become students at the Academy of Champions, where he is the headmaster. Of course, I can only be talking about the greatest soccer player of all time. He is a 3-time world champion. I can't believe I am introducing him. He's also the U.S. champion with the New York Cosmos. Ladies and gentlemen, he needs no introduction, Pele. Wow, Pele. Unbelievable. Nice to meet you. Pele.
Thank you very much.
All right, well, Academy of Champions is set in its own fantastic universe, and here's a little sneak peek of it right here for you. I think.
Beautiful.
The game does much more than this. Right, Pele? I mean, what do you think? Well, great job on the game. I have to say, your name's on there. Do
you speak Portuguese?
I do speak Portuguese. I didn't want, I didn't want the audience to be intimidated by my skills with Portuguese.
Do you speak Spanish?
I don't speak Spanish either. I speak Swahili, which is weird, because I have had no use for it here. Are we ready to run the trailer? Close? Was there supposed to be a speech? This is awesome.
Okay, listen.
All right.
That's it. I bring my friend. You don't speak Spanish, you don't speak Portuguese.
No.
I don't speak English.
You are doing an incredible job of it right now. What is she? Does she speak?
I bring somebody to help us.
She's more attractive than both of us combined, thank God.
Rita, she speaks good Portuguese. Now in serious, very serious, Joe. It's a big pleasure to me to be here with you.
Yes.
You know, a Rita vai nos ajudar. Não, Rita, você fala que é momento muito importante para mim eu fazer parte, né, desse momento, porque a Ubisoft me fez essa proposta, né, para fazer essa parceria com o desenho animado. Como aqui tem pessoas de todo mundo, eu tenho certeza, eles adoram futebol. Depois eu faço esta, né?
I'm very happy to be here. It was a pleasure when I found out that Ubisoft was inviting me to be a part of this project. I was delighted. And I know there's people here from all over the world, so we're going to talk a little bit about the game and football, of course.
Como vocês sabem, o futebol é parte da minha vida. O futebol me deu tudo, onde eu tive a oportunidade de viajar o mundo todo, nova filosofia, nova cultura, aprendi muita coisa com o futebol. Para muitos aí, já não é novidade que nós conseguimos parar até uma guerra no futebol. E o esporte que põe mais jovens, né, juntos em comunicação é o futebol. E eu procurei, dentro do futebol, sempre passar as melhores mensagens.
My whole life, football was the most important thing in my life. Football gave me everything. It gave me the chance to travel, to know the new philosophies, the new countries, everything. And football is very important for young people these days because it's a way of communication. We were even able to stop a war during a football match. So we believe that it's really important for young people to feel that connection between sports and positive messages.
Eu sempre tive muito boa comunicação com jovens, com crianças, sempre procurei dar boas mensagens, as melhores mensagens. Por exemplo, quando eu fiz o meu 10º gol no Maracanã, que estava todas as câmaras do mundo olhando para mim, a minha preocupação foi pedir ao governo brasileiro, à sociedade, ao mundo, que desse educação, que desse atenção às crianças.
Children have always been a priority for me. Actually, when I scored my 1000th goal, I actually had the chance to be standing in front of the cameras, and I decided to appeal to the Ministry of Brazil, to the government, to everybody, for them to actually pay attention to children and children's education. So they're really an important part of my life, and I'm always, always worried about them.
Mas agora eu já não estou. Thank you. Thank you. Obrigado. Mas agora, Jô, eu já não estou fazendo mais 1000 gols. Agora eu estou fora do futebol, com o coração lá dentro, mas eu não estou fazendo gol. E essa conexão com os jovens, a UPSAD vai me dar a oportunidade de seguir dando nesse jogo, dando as instruções para os jovens, estando sempre conectado com os jovens. E eu espero que aqui também eu possa passar grandes mensagens aos jovens através desse joguinho.
Now that I'm not playing football itself anymore, I feel that it's a great thing for me to be connected to football and to the young people once again through Ubisoft's opportunity to be a part of this game, sending out my positive messages and trying to teach them in a very positive way, using technology and football at the same time.
E para encerrar, eu gostaria de dizer que a firma que detém, né, a marca Pelé, agora a Prime, que tem aqui um dos representantes aqui conosco, eles trouxeram essa parceria com a Ubisoft. E eu sempre joguei em equipe vencedora. E tenho certeza que vai ser mais uma vitória nossa.
We have Prime here who are actually responsible for this partnership, and everybody knows this is going to be very good for me because I've always been a player in the winning team, and this is going to be another opportunity to be a part of a winning team.
Yeah. Well said. Well said.
Obrigado.
All right. Academy of Champions is set in its own fantastic universe, and here's a little sneak preview for you now.
I tell you, I totally aced that test, man.
And you're so... Hi.
Yeah, look who's here. Come on, let's go!
All right, get ready.
Rawr.
Looks great. Wow. So Pele, what was your favorite part of making this game with Ubisoft?
Eu acho que a coisa mais importante aqui é poder dar a instrução aos meninos, poder passar para eles alguma coisa de que eu aprendi, né, na minha vida do futebol. E o espírito de equipe é muito importante. É um jogo que a gente vai ter várias facetas nesse jogo, mas o espírito de equipe, o respeito ao próximo, tudo isso é importante nesse meu papel aqui nesse programa.
For me, my role was mostly focused on children and a way to educate them and to give them a chance to learn something from the game and from me, my experience in football. And so I hope that children will be able to profit from this game. And that was exactly the part that fascinated me the most, to be able to be a mentor in this game.
Espírito de equipe
And
importante,
the team spirit is,
família.
and team spirit is it's always very important, the chance that they have to actually work with their families and give them a positive message.
Terrific. Ladies and gentlemen, Pele, the Academy of Champions. Thank you. So nice to meet you. Thank you. Wow, that was amazing. Pele! Pele! Let's talk about one of the industry's fastest growing categories, casual games. They're interactive, educational, they offer self-improvement in everything. Fashion, exercise, fitness, in short, there's plenty of fun for everyone at every age. This year, Ubisoft has new games for little kids, teenagers, and adults. And there is a game called Trying to Open the Packaging that the video game is wrapped in. And it's very difficult, takes hours to complete. Thank you. Thanks for that. That's my dad. What is true is that Ubisoft has been leading the way in casual games, and you'll see why when you hear what's new in 09 from U.S. Senior VP of Marketing, Tony Key. Tony, come on out. Right on, Tony.
See you. Thank you. So a few weeks ago, when we got together to decide who presents what, I immediately raised my hand and said, I get biggest seller. Of course I get biggest seller. I'm the sales guy, right? So who here can tell me, over the last 3 years, which Ubisoft brand has sold the most units? Wrong. I'll give you another hint. You haven't seen it yet today? And wrong. 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 Let me put another question up there for you. In 2008, which Ubisoft brand sold more copies than all these other high-profile brands? Can you imagine what the answer would be? Anyone? Of course. The point is that this illustrates that our tween brands are some of the biggest brands in the industry right now. They've inspired hundreds of knockoffs from small publishers and big ones. Maybe you saw a few today. However, we saw the viability of this segment very early, and that made us a very strong leader in the category. Just look at these numbers. Imagine is the biggest brand on the DS by any third-party publisher, and look at that, Pets right behind it. 1 and 2. Last year, same story. So what's the key to staying on top like that? Well, you got to have a plan. And since everybody else's plan lately seems do whatever Ubisoft does, we got to have our own plan. So the plan actually this year is pretty simple. It's the same plan we always have. Make the best games. Take advantage of the technology that's out there. Take these brands beyond the traditional borders of current video games. Eve talked about it earlier. Give these young players a true 2.0 experience and let them really enjoy it. So the way we get there is what we call the 3 I's: integration, interconnectivity, and invention. Let's watch how Imagine, Pets, and something brand new are hitting on the 3 I's.
It's no secret that tweens love our games, so in 2009, we're taking them to the next level. Welcome to Ubisoft's Tween Games 2.0, the next evolution of casual games offering players integration, interconnectivity, and invention. And here's why. Imagine is an integrated part of their lifestyle. Imagine is already the #1 third-party franchise on Nintendo DS, and it keeps getting bigger. Through Imagine Town magazine, the Imagine online destination, and new titles like Imagine Artist, which allows players to create artwork on their Nintendo DS. Then they can upload to the Imaginetown website and share with their friends, their mom, and their entire family. Pets, the #1 pet sim on Nintendo DS, now offers an unprecedented level of interconnectivity. In Pets Nursery, players can raise adorable baby animals, then wirelessly transfer them to Pets Dogs Talent Show or to Pets Hamster Superstars, where players can teach them outrageous skills, then turn them into superstars. And introducing Style Lab, our newest brand, which allows players to invent and reinvent their own style in the game and in the real world. In Style Lab Makeover, players can take their picture with their Nintendo DSi and put their face right in the game. Then try out cool hair and makeup styles. And in Style Lab Jewelry Design, players can create their own jewelry, then upload their designs to a website where they can purchase them in real life. Integration, interconnectivity, and invention. Together they represent innovation. And that's Tween Games 2.0.
Let's go a little further with the 3 I's. The first I is integration, as in lifestyle. Imaginetown magazine has a circulation of over 500,000. Imaginetown Online, just launched before this past holiday, is already Ubisoft's most trafficked website. It peaked at 2.7 million unique users in a single month just recently, and it's still growing. We anticipate up to 4 million unique users per month by the time it comes to this holiday, just after its first birthday. Not bad. The second I, interconnectivity. I'd like to introduce you to the stars of Pets 2009. These are the new faces of the brand. You're going to raise this talented bunch as babies in our new Pets Nursery game. And then when they've learned not to chew your couch up anymore, you're going to use the interconnectivity to send them to this year's new Pets titles, where you'll have lots of fun teaching them how to become superstars. Finally, the third I, invention. Today, we're announcing our newest tween brand, Style Lab. Style Lab is all about experimenting with your own personal style in the game, and then if you'd like, into real life. The games in this brand take full advantage of all the technology available on the DS, including creative use of the DSi and leading-edge game-to-web functionality that lets you go online and then beyond. These gamers expect and deserve a great gaming experience just like everybody else. And at Ubisoft, we are determined to make sure that they get it. All right, so another question, because you love questions. I can tell you love them. What's the fastest growing genre over the last 12 months? Right now, what's the fastest growing genre? Here's your choices: shooter, action, sports. None of the above, of course. It's fitness. The growth in fitness is almost 2 times the growth of the next biggest genre. The feedback mechanism that video games can offer, that DVDs can't, has really reinvigorated this category. Take a look at how fitness games are selling out there. They're some of the best-selling games on the market. We've got one. So, yet we know there's still a lot of innovation to occur in this very young genre. And I don't think the answer is a $20 pair of rubber bands. What? I just want some innovation, people. Maybe you caught a little glimpse of what the next big thing in fitness was this morning. Maybe the game controller of the future, the camera. So let me introduce you to somebody who knows a lot about cameras. This is Felicia Williams, lead content designer from our Montreal studio, and a key strategy person in how we're going to use cameras in our games. Felicia Williams. Felicia, you're the expert. Tell us, what is the camera going to do for the fitness category?
Well, Tony, it is going to completely revolutionize the way people think about fitness games. For the first time ever, you, yourself, are going to be transported into your fitness game. The camera's going to scan your body, place you inside of your television, and you're going to see your moves in real time, almost like looking at a mirror. We're also going to be able to give you a unique diagnosis of your body and propose you a program that is best suited to your shape. We're also going to have a coach for you so that you can copy their movements and make sure that you're doing the routine properly. And they're going to give you real-time feedback on the execution of your moves, which is just something that a DVD can't do. And of course, this coach is going to give you some encouragement and help you to track your shape along the way.
So it's going to measure your shape? Do you think it's true that the camera adds 10 pounds? Well, hopefully in your game it doesn't. So, you know, the camera won't lie in your game. But clearly, this is a new era in fitness, right?
Well, what's interesting about this, with the camera combined with tracking technology, you can't cheat anymore. The camera keeps an eye on you. And this means that there's absolutely no wasted time. You'll be ensured that you exercise the right way. You'll have the right program for your body and guidance on the right execution.
Well, there's a lot of games out there that say they're just as good as having a personal trainer, so why will ours be even better?
Well, first of all, it would be more realistic, almost like having a coach right there in the living room with you. And also, you need to be able to work 100% hands-free, meaning no balance board, no straps, no Wiimotes, but you should be able to use your home personal equipment like your medicine balls or your free weights. And the camera should be like the eye of the trainer, and they should be looking at you from your head to your toe and helping you with the execution of your moves. And so far, other fitness games just haven't been able to offer that kind of flexibility. And this would clearly be the biggest revolution in fitness, a new, highly motivating and personalized experience in which every minute invested is helping you reach your fitness goals.
Wow. So when Felicia told me about all the things that a camera could bring to this genre, I'm thinking, yeah, but they don't know when this camera's coming out. Could be a year. I don't know. Am I going to maybe have to wait until Christmas 2010? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I completely agree. So I called up Paris, and I told them about our dilemma, and I said, hey, listen, if we got to wait for a long time for this thing, Tony, you're going to weigh like 300 pounds by then.
Hey, you know how rich that,
We're
French
friends.
food
We're
can
friends.
be, right? Yeah. Right. So we've decided not to wait. Ubisoft is proud to announce the first camera-enabled fitness game to hit the market. It's called Your Shape, and it's coming to the Wii this holiday season.
Welcome to a new era in fitness with Your Shape. The camera that comes with the game actually scans your body, utilizing revolutionary fitness tracking technology. After it assesses your shape, it gives you a fitness test, then asks you what area of your body you want to focus on. You chose your legs. Do you want to slim, strengthen, or tone? How much time do you have? All right, your personalized program is on its way. Is this what you're looking for? Let's go.
Hold it for just a few more
The camera gives you real-time feedback on all of your movements,
Keep the rhythm.
while literally projecting your workout right on your TV screen.
Perfect.
It tracks your movements, letting you work out hands-free, while constantly adjusting to your needs, something no other fitness product offers. Let's see how you did. Great job. It's all possible with Your Shape for Wii, a new era in fitness.
Not only is Your Shape the first camera-enabled fitness game to hit the market, but it's the first Wii game that uses the camera. Working closely with Nintendo, Ubisoft is creating a custom camera that utilizes the USB port on the Wii, a first. Very cool.
It is indeed. Your Shape is guaranteed to usher in a new era of fitness this holiday season. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to reach your ideal shape at last.
Thank you.
Now, when the Ubisoft stars come out to play, it's not just always with razor-sharp Japanese swords. Sometimes what they play is sports, which is great because sports provides a player with unparalleled gaming experiences. Last year, Ubisoft was the innovator in this area with the launch of Shaun White Snowboarding. Yep. That brought with it a number of unprecedented experiences on the Wii thanks to the intuitiveness and immersiveness, they wrote that word, on the balance board. It was a huge hit, and the game is back for 2009 on the Wii, and the action is crazier, and it has a lot more features. In fact, this year, Sean sets the bar so high with all the new competitions and challenges, he's really outdone himself. He didn't do it, he just showed up. So here is what I'm talking about.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick. Oh yeah. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick.
No way. Come on. Hey, we can do better than this.
Shaun White Snowboarding World Stage.
Yeah. I love that game because I can't injure myself the way I do when I actually snowboard. I came to snowboarding late, and I pay like, $400 when you get everything, all the gear and the lift tickets, and you basically $400 to fall down a hill. The next guy coming out, he's in charge, and he will talk about something that is celebrating its 25th anniversary. That's right, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. 25 years old. All right, so please help me welcome the president of Ubisoft North America, Laurent Detoc.
Thank you, Joel. Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. So, this is a full room. Nice, nice. So we've seen a lot about how Ubisoft attracts a lot of talent. We're very proud of that, obviously. Movies, sports, and obviously video games. So I would like to talk right now about talent, not from our own video game studios, but from the studios that we work with, our partners, our friends, in fact. And I will take us to Japan for a little bit. So the first, as Joel alluded to, the first product I want to talk about is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Smash-Up. So, this year is the 25th anniversary for the Turtles. They call that a Shellebration. Shellebration. That's right. And the team that we asked to work on that title is a team that brought us a very, very big game last year, the Super Smash Bros. Game. That team is Game Arts. Game Arts joined forces also with some other talented people who worked on the Ninja Gaiden series and the Dead or Alive series, and they've made us a really, really cool product. So, because it's very hard to see, but I know they are here, I would actually like for them to stand up, our friends at Game Arts, and please give a hand for these guys. I think the best way is for us to take a look at their work, so let's take a look at the trailer.
I fight for justice.
I fight for world domination. I fight for honor.
I fight for what's right.
I fight because it's fun.
Ninja Turtles Smash Up this fall.
Cowabunga! All right. So, Cowabunga on September 22nd, so just at the beginning of fall, one day. The next product, actually, what happens is you already knew about the Turtles coming out from us because we've been talking about this for a while. So in the spirit of a briefing, I would like to make two announcements today. The first one is that we are going to have a game that's a sequel of a multiple award-winning product from last year. And we've secured the publishing rights for North America. That title is No More Heroes 2, Desperate Struggle. I take it some of you have seen the trailer that just got posted. Racy, nice, nice. I want to talk about the talent behind that product. And in particular, the team at Grasshopper is the one that's making the game, but there's one man that some of you will know, and his name is Goichi Suda. Suda, also known as Suda51, to me, exemplifies very well what we've been talking about talent. He's not just a funny guy, he's actually extremely creative. The next title is actually a project. So, again, let me try to give you some hints, as we've been doing earlier in the presentation. If I say Res, if I say Space Channel 5, if I say Luminous, and raise your hands if you've spent a lot of hours on Luminous, like me. I had that music for months in my head. So there's one name that comes after all these fantastic products, and that name is Tetsuya Mizuguchi. So here's again, creative talent at its finest, and I know he's here because I saw him earlier. Could you please stand up and give a hand for Tetsuya Mizuguchi? So the project we're working on, although I'm not going to be able to tell you much, because it's a project for now, but it's really an interesting venture because we have decided to challenge innovation. Really, put talent together and put the ambition, and we define it as we want to bring new sensory experiences. So that's for the project codename Eden for now.
Thank you, Yves. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Have you ever experienced the thrill when you know you're working on something that really matters and will move and shape an entire company and an industry for years to come? You know the feeling of a project that generates long-term excitement because with each step and milestone, everything makes more sense and really starts to put things in motion. This is exactly what I'm feeling these days. So Yves spent a few minutes sharing our vision. Let me take a few moments to explain how this concretely impacts our operations. To achieve true content convergence, we created our own digital content production facility, Ubisoft Digital Arts. And we acquired Hybrid Technologies, a trailblazing VFX studio involved on multiple Hollywood blockbusters, such as 300, Sin City, and Journey to the Center of the Earth, to only name a few. The objective was to bring together two different talent universes, gaming and Hollywood, knowing that they share a vast but complementary expertise. Tomorrow, we're going to unveil new details about our joint collaboration on this year's most anticipated movie, James Cameron's Avatar. The collaboration and quality of the exchanges with James Cameron, John Lando, and the whole Lightstorm team has been phenomenal. We have just reached new heights as we are thrilled to announce today that we are also developing over 100 shots for James Cameron's Avatar movie. Yeah. This truly demonstrates that our expertise has come full circle as we are, for the first time ever, bridging our VFX and our game development expertise to one single project. And trust me, Avatar is using groundbreaking technology, and the result is truly spectacular. Ubisoft Digital Arts is also currently working on a technical development pipeline that will allow us to have a compatible approach to combine our real-time engines to pre-rendered technology. This, for example, will enable us to extract 3D environment assets created for our games within the real-time engine, such as Anvil, the Assassin's Creed engine, and use those same assets in an HD movie or a video production that features live actors. As you can see here, the result is a massive undertaking that will result this upcoming fall in the release of short movies with unprecedented production value based on the Assassin's Creed 2 universe. The images that are running right now were taken, 3 days ago on the live set of the project. We are really getting where we had envisioned 3 years ago. And in the near future, these combined approaches will allow us to broaden the experience of our IPs to various entertainment mediums, such as movies, books, and other online experiences. Those are just some of the ways we plan to express our convergence strategy and continue building on our strong brands. The takeaway here is that Ubisoft is going from a simple developer and game publisher company to a full 360 degrees content provider, as for us, the true convergence is the one that happens in people's mind when they experience our IPs. We are excited about our future, and I hope you are as thrilled as we are. Thank you very much.
So as you can see, Ubisoft has already entered the era where movies, games, music, and books interact around the construction of a single universe. But who better to speak about creating a realistic world of fantasy than one of the most distinguished movie directors of all time? To share his vision on the creation of incredible universe of Avatar, I will ask James Cameron to come.
It's pretty cool to be here to tell you about the Avatar game that I've got the great privilege of doing with my friends at Ubisoft. But I'm going to have to give you a little backstory on Avatar. I actually wrote the treatment for this thing 14 years ago. And I took it into my team at Digital Domain, where I was the CEO. I said, well, what do you think, guys? And they broke it down and they said, if we make this, we're doomed. It can't be done. The technology doesn't exist. So I put it way in the back of the drawer for about a decade. And then I started to see things in movies, examples of photoreal CG characters like Gollum in The Lord of the Rings. And I said, maybe it's time to dust this thing off. So 4 years ago, I resurrected the project. and we began the design process of designing the world of Pandora with all its creatures and plants and characters and different environments. And that process took about 1.5 years, and during that same time, in parallel, we were also developing our performance capture process, new technology for that, for image-based facial performance capture, and working out our CG pipeline so we could actually make this thing. Avatar, the story, takes place in the 22nd century. Most of the action takes place on Pandora, which is not actually a planet. It's a large moon of a gas giant planet called Polyphemus in the Alpha Centauri A star system. Pandora is Earth-like, has lush rainforest environments and are filled with incredible life forms like 1,000-foot tall trees and a myriad of creatures, some of which are quite beautiful and some of which are quite terrifying, as you'll definitely see in the game. Pandora is also the home to the Na'vi, who are a humanoid race which lives at a state that we would consider to be primitive, bows and arrows and primitive weapons and that sort of thing, but who ultimately prove to be much wiser than we are. The Na'vi are 10 feet tall, blue skin, striped like tigers. They have long tails. They're quite fierce looking, and they can be ferocious warriors when they're provoked. But normally, as when humans are not trampling their planet, they live harmoniously in their forest environment. Now, humans can't breathe the air on Pandora, so in the major conceit of the story is that it was decided to create a human-Na'vi hybrid through genetic engineering, and these are called the avatars. And the avatars in our story are living, breathing bodies in a real world. They're not, as the word has sort of been appropriated by the cybersphere, they're not synthetic alter egos in cyberspace. Just to be clear that it's not a Matrix type story. And the avatar bodies are controlled by a human driver who projects their consciousness via a technology which links their mind to the avatar body, and they kind of live through that body as in a kind of remote control, while their human body is in a coma-like state. So here's our main character, Jake Sully, who was a Marine who was wounded in combat, paralyzed, goes to Pandora, and in his avatar body, of course, he can walk, he can run, he can live again. And so, as the story develops, he finds himself caught between the military-industrial complex from Earth and the Na'vi, on the other hand, who are increasingly threatened by the human expansion on Pandora. And as an avatar, living with the Na'vi, he falls in love with a Na'vi girl whose name is Neytiri, and she's a smoking hot action character, somebody you don't want to mess with. And as he kind of goes deeper into their culture and becomes one of her clan, he ultimately has to choose sides in the big impending battle. And let me tell you, this battle, at the end of the movie, is the mother of all battles. Because you've got human technology, helicopter gunships, and all kinds of futuristic weaponry against the Na'vi giants riding their creatures, which include the formidable flying Ikran, or banshees, as the humans call them. And this film is way beyond anything I've done before, which is why it's taken 4 years to date, and we still have some months to go. December 18th is our release date. Mark your calendars. And just to put that in perspective, Titanic took 2 years to make. So this is a major, major project. We pioneered new capture and visual effects technology, and we're shooting the film in stereoscopic 3D. The live action portion uses cameras that took us 9 years to develop. And the goal was to combine these new filmmaking technologies with powerful storytelling, strong visuals, great design, and to create this fully immersive cinematic experience. Not like watching a movie, more like actually taking the journey. And I've had friends and people who've watched parts of the film say that viewing Avatar is more like being in a dream state. It's like dreaming with your eyes wide open. And so you know, we had obviously very ambitious goals for this film. And we knew from the get-go that we wanted to choose our video game partner very carefully. You know, we wanted market share, we wanted the technological horsepower of a major player, but we also wanted the personal touch. We wanted the creativity and the passion of a small team. And we found that at Ubisoft, we got the best of both worlds, and it was the perfect balance. I met Giannis and his creative team in 2006, and they walked in with a pitch for a game whose themes beautifully mirrored those of the movie. They had all these great, groundbreaking ideas, and they were all ready when they came to pitch to us, just totally inside the head of the movie and Pandora, the environment, the Na'vi culture, and it was just wonderful to hear the ideas that they brought to the table. So I knew on the spot that we had found the right partner, because they weren't people who simply wanted to put something flashy on the screen. They wanted a soul behind the video game. And they also brought, you know, the same passion and commitment to Avatar, I felt, which is a licensed game that they brought to their own in-house creations. You know, and let's face it, you know, games derived from movies historically, you know, some of them have kind of sucked. And I didn't want anything associated with Avatar to suck. So, you know, I proposed to them this theory that the game should not be a slave to the movie. It should follow its own storyline. It should be developed fully in parallel so that they exist in the same world, you know, using the same creatures and the same environments, but that the game has its own stories. And, you know, Ubisoft rose to that challenge. They created new characters, vehicles, weapons, and they embellished upon the settings, and they also enhanced the way that the Na'vi interact with their creatures and with their world, their interaction with the plants, how they get their powers and their poisons, and they totally went off, and they brought so much extra detail to it. And we began the process very early, 2.5 years ago, so they had plenty of time to explore and develop the visuals. And this is usually where the whole game-movie interface breaks down, because movies are on a year track, screaming to the theaters a year after somebody pushes the button, and it's just not enough time to do a game properly. So we got into this early. They've developed the game properly. It's a fantastic game. It's been a very collaborative partnership. You know, we gave the Ubisoft team access to all of our CG assets as we created them, and to our captured motion, and to our animation. And when they said, hey, we really want to have a ground vehicle, we said, yeah, sure, design it yourselves. You know, they've created vehicles, they've created weapons. I've approved their designs. Sometimes we even had our own design team design vehicles for them that are in the game and aren't even in the movie. You know, a number of their design ideas have been incorporated into the film. I saw something great, and I said, I want that in the movie. I want that particular treatment for the bioluminescence, for example. I encourage them to create their own settings, characters, vehicles, models, you know, the modes of conflict, you know, between all the characters, but all within this kind of rough outer boundary of the world that we had created. So they ran these new story threads and characters past me, and I found them to be, you know, pretty highly imaginative, but always consistent with the world that I had created. They also came up with the idea of allowing the player to choose either a Na'vi perspective or a human perspective. In other words, the good guys and the bad guys in this game are entirely a matter of the player's choice. I think that's really cool. And there are a number of thresholds throughout the game where you can make that choice. If you feel like you've made the initial choice incorrectly, you can switch sides further down throughout all the levels. It's really pretty remarkable. So this kind of moral theme, if you will, actually tracks beautifully to one of the main messages of the movie, which is, you know, to see and understand through others' eyes. Now, because Avatar was being made in 3D, I urged Ubisoft to consider authoring the game in 3D and presenting it to the world in 3D. And they kind of were a little dubious at first because of the technology and the time scale, but they came back very excited several months later, and they showed me a demo in stereo, which blew us away. And it was on. We were doing it. They made the commitment to make Avatar the first major stereoscopic title. So, I believe that when entertainment succeeds in today's market, it does so by converging movies, video games, books, toys, graphic novels, online experiences to create this kind of greater universe in which you can visit and enjoy the settings and the characters in multiple ways. The story of the movie doesn't have to be retold in these other outlets, but there should be this sense of enlarging the world and enhancing the viewer's knowledge of the history and the culture and all of these things within that fantasy world. So the world of the Avatar game is in some ways considerably richer and more extensive than what you're going to see in the film. And at the same time, it doesn't contain any spoilers that are going to ruin the movie experience for you. And that allows us to put it on the street before the film comes out. So in a way, this is the perfect consonance between these two different media. I set out with Ubisoft to create the ideal model, if you will, for how a game and a movie can be co-developed in parallel, with neither one kind of being the red-headed stepchild of the other. And I believe that we've done that. Ubisoft challenged itself to set the bar pretty darn high. And they've taken on a project which was difficult, it was massive, it was technologically revolutionary, as much as the film. And they've invested in technology that's going to allow this to be the first major stereoscopic 3D title done from its inception. And we're all pretty passionate about making Avatar the coolest new game out there. And I can stand here today, right now, and tell you guys that Ubisoft have done it. In closing, I just want to urge you to get a look at the demo at their booth over the next 3 days, and because I got to play it today, the new demo, and it's pretty fantastic. You just kind of stick your head close into the monitor like this, and the world wraps around you. And I have to say, it's one of the first times in a video game that I actually was afraid. When the hammerhead charges, when the viper wolves are attacking, and you're having to fend them off, it's pretty darn exciting. I think you're going to really like it. So thanks very much.